Hi guys, Bryan Rogers here. I just want to have a little discussion about the differences between an LLC and an S-corporation. But basically an LLC is an organization I would consider if I were just getting into business and not generating revenue yet. LLCs are pretty good for your startups as well as if you are looking to do some real estate investing. If you're doing real estate investing, I would just highly recommend you put that real estate into an LLC. And the reason why is it just shields you a little bit for liability reasons, legal liability reasons. But the S-corp and the limited liability companies are the two main structures that people use these days to get up and running in their business. Once again, LLCs are good if you're just getting going because one, it's a little bit easier to form. There is not as much documentation that you have to worry about, as well as if you're generating revenues anywhere between $200,000 or below, you're not going to really reap any tax benefits compared to an S-corp. An S-corp and an LLC, they're both considered pass-through entities, which means that the net income of both types of structures get passed through your 1040, and then you are taxed on that net income as ordinary income. Now the LLC, there's two, as well as the S-corp, there's two main reasons why to have those, and one is for legal protection and two is for the tax benefits. But the difference in terms of taxation is that with the S-corp, you're going to pay yourself a payroll tax. So that portion of the payroll tax, the payroll and the payroll tax itself, is considered an expense on your profit and loss statement. So therefore, as an expense, it reduces your net income and it's not passed through to your 1040 where you would pay ordinary income tax on that portion of it. So once again, you just want to run the numbers. If you are just getting going, the LLC is a good structure. Once you achieve that point where you're generating large amounts of revenue, you want to just start running the numbers and keep in good communication with your accountant. If you have a good accountant, your accountant would probably recommend for you to switch to an S-corporation. But both organizations, as an LLC as well as an S-corp, they're relatively easy to start. You just go to your Secretary of State. You're either going to file articles of organization, which that's what you would file with an LLC, or you're going to file articles of incorporation. That is what you would file if you're going to be obviously a corporation. But if you do go the S-corp, if you do an S-corp, you got to make sure that you file your articles of incorporation with your Secretary of State, and then you're going to want to call the IRS and just let them know that you intend on paying taxes as an S-corp. So you got to make sure that you do that within a certain time frame of filing that the original articles of incorporation with the state, and I believe that's 60 days or below. But what I recommend, if you're going to do it, just do it right away. Don't procrastinate. Just get that part of it done. So that's those are the tax reasons between the differences between an LLC and an S-corp. But for both types of business structures, I highly recommend getting together the supplemental agreements as well. And you can do them yourself. I do recommend consulting with an attorney if you haven't done so. But with an LLC, what you're going to do is you're going to put together documents called member control agreements as well as an operating agreement. S-corporation, you're going to put together shareholder agreements as well as an operating agreement. And the main purposes of those supplemental documents is it's going to outline what each role each person has in the organization. So if you have other members of the LLC or if there are other shareholders on the S-corporation, it's going to outline the roles of each person. It's going to outline the roles of the company itself. Also the operating agreement, shareholder agreements, as well as the control agreements. It's going to provide a value to the company, and it's going to describe what will happen. For instance, like let's say, and this actually happened to me with a customer of mine. They were a 3-person S corporation, so there are 3 shareholders, each owning 33.3% of the S corp. About 3 months down the road, after the business was up and running, one of the shareholders was not getting along with the other 2 shareholders for reasons of just general future ideas of how the business should be run. So of course, one of the shareholders wanted out, and one of the shareholders wanted an absorbent amount of money to be bought out of of his shares from the S corp. These 3, luckily they had a good attorney, and that attorney put together all the proper documentation, put together the value of the company, had all the roles on there. So when it came down to separating that person from that organization, it was all written down, what the value of the company is, how the shareholder gets bought out, so that that particular shareholder, they could come to a resolution, so to speak. So that's the reasons why I want to put together those documentations. And usually people don't realize that until it's too late. So make sure you get that done. It's not that much of an extra expense, but it's very important. As well as those documents could very much help you out in legal reasons. When you're running companies, you just want to make sure that you're running the companies as outlined in the agreements, as well as the supplemental documentation outlines. Because if there were any issues where you had to go to court and someone was trying to sue you, an aggressive attorney could try to separate your legal protection from those organizations. And once again, those supplemental documents kind of help outline how that company runs, and then you just got to make sure that you document in writing meetings through minutes, so that you show that you are operating the organization as intended. But that's pretty much it. It might be a lot to grasp, but that's the differences between an LLC and an S-corp. The primary difference, in my opinion, between the two is the S-corp is you pay yourself payroll tax. And usually once you get to that $150,000 to $200,000 mark, that's when you want to start considering being an S-corp. You can start off with both. That would be fine. LLCs, once again, they're, in my opinion, they're best if you're just getting going in business. A little bit easier to form, not as much paperwork, and that's primarily it. But I just want to segue into something else real quick. I do these videos as a side business to what I currently do, and how I help fund these videos is through a side business that I do online, and it might be something you might be interested in. If you are looking at this video, you might be looking to start your own business. I do pretty well with my online business, and it's a free system that I promote down below. You can just check the link up below, and it's something that you can get going right away, and it's something you can get going for totally free. And I make good passive income doing that. So anyway, check it out. But once again, Bryan Rogers, and I wish you success in anything that you do. Thanks.